Hello, folks, and welcome to day number 21 on the road to 2000 ELO Rapid Series. We are just about to finish 3 weeks of the series so far, and wouldn't it be nice to cap it off with a win and going into 1700? Getting to 1700 in 3 weeks would be really, really nice for sure. Let's see if we can do it. We're playing another Italian, and we're playing the C3D3 system, which I think, if I remember correctly, I can just castle here and I'm fine. Now the Italian's not the most fun position in the world, but it can uh, it can produce some good games. Okay, let's watch out for Bishop G5 here. I'm watching out for the Bishop pinning the Knight to the Queen. If I play something like D6, this move can be annoying. But I'm wondering, can I not just play H6? What's the problem with that? Typically, the issue would be if they could add a knight onto the attack, but I don't see it just yet. I also don't see any threat on this bishop just yet as well. If here takes, and then I can just slide the bishop backwards. So I do have to be a little bit careful, but I think d6 is fine. This is my first chess game of the day, by the way. Or actually, no, I played one blitz game. One blitz game to prep for this, but also my brain's not really working too well. Didn't get the best sleep last night, but I'm super excited for my day today in Tokyo. Okay, so with this rook e1 move, can I make him look silly by playing knight g4? Is that a possibility? Would knight g4 just force the rook back? Let's think about this one. If knight g4, what if here pawn takes, bishop back. Or maybe even bishop b4 here. Let's see. Let's see what we want to do. Maybe I'll go bishop e6. I know that the engine doesn't love these moves where you trade off the bishops, but I kind of enjoy doing them. Simply because of the fact that it opens up the rook on the f-file. The f-file is a little bit weaker now that the rook stepped away. So with my rook pointing at f2 and my bishop pointing at f2 could be interesting if he goes for this trade. My opponent does not decide to go for the trade, which is totally fair, understandable. Maybe now it's a good time to go knight here, and I can make room for my knight on e7, or I could just go knight e7 right away and improve this knight. So this knight's not really doing too much here. It is sort of helping with defending against this, but currently the knight and bishop are not enough to defend against the square because it's protected by a pawn. So this knight on c6 is not doing too much here. I can just slide it away and prepare to play c6 myself. All right, now for this, I remember we just take here. Let's calculate. Takes, the bishop moves out of the way, and then is this a threat? Not really, so that's fine. I can even keep the bishop on the diagonal that targets the king, and that might be the better option. So let's do this. And I should calculate both d5 and e5. Honestly, I should have calculated this before. I think both are fine off first glance, though. This is the bigger threat, but I can just slide the bishop out of the way. This here I can take. After it takes back, I can just move my knight away. So let's just pick where we want to move the bishop. Do I want to bring it here, maybe? Make them waste the move. Make the rook look a little silly. I could do that. Um, I think instead I'll go b6. I think the bishop longer term on this diagonal is better. So let's see. Also, if d5 is played, maybe I can go c6 and try to counterattack. So takes. I don't like the look of that too much. Now I'm going to play c6 for sure, though. They're preventing me from going bishop g4 here. Maybe if they played d5, they wanted to make sure that I didn't have this g4 square for the bishop. But that gives me a little bit of time, and I like having time to work with. Because we're going to push the bishop away, and then we're going to play d5 ourselves and not allow these pawns any forward momentum. This e4 pawn can push to e5, but afterwards I can just go knight here. Okay, now let's think about this one. First thing I'm realizing is that this knight is the only defender of this pawn, right? So, can I dislodge the knight in any way? I don't see an immediate way to do that. Instead, I think we'll go with our plan and play d5 ourselves. I'm expecting probably e5 from my opponent. Let's see. Okay, we did get e5. Here, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes does drop a pawn. So maybe not that. maybe we can try to win this pawn in the long run. See if we can get there. Probably with something like knight f5 in the future. For now, I'm just going to go knight back to d7. We're keeping our knights flexible. Maybe I can play f6 and try to break the pawn center. But I think it's more reasonable to go knight f5 first, targeting this. The trade doesn't hurt me. So let's go here. Bishop takes is met with bishop takes. There are ideas, though, of going here, and now I can't necessarily take the knight, just because after knight takes, bishop takes, there's actually bishop check, which opens an attack on the resulting piece. So it's a little tricky. Here we're going to go for the trade. I don't mind that at all. And I'm probably going to go f6 and try to break open the center a little bit, make some breathing room available for my knight, which is kind of stuck on d7 at the moment. Okay, I don't dislike how this is going so far. I don't love it either. I think it's a pretty balanced game. Something I gotta look out for is the rook here. If I ever go f6, then this bishop is going to be unprotected. So maybe it's smarter to go queen e7 first. Let's see. Let's see what my opponent takes back with. If they take back with a pawn, then that's less of a problem. They're debating whether okay, they take back with a pawn. So maybe I could just go f6 here. Maybe I could just go f6 here, and I kind of like the look of this. If I go f6, is he able to maybe try to get this pawn away and that way attack the bishop? I don't see how just yet. Knight here looks annoying, but is not playable. Let's go for this. Let's go for f6. Try to break open the center here. Queen e7 and f6 were probably interchangeable moves. The one little thing that changes is that after pawn takes, I can take back with the queen instead of with the knight. Maybe I'll actually do that in order to connect my rooks with more development. But I'm trying to figure out where my knight's going to go, and I'm not too sure. Maybe queen here and then bishop c7 looks interesting. It does look interesting. Can I be punished for this move? I don't see how just yet. So let's go here. We're creating threats on this knight, actually. Like, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes is an idea on the board right now, actually. Which is pretty cool. I like that. I actually like that a lot. Let's see, maybe that happens. Maybe that happens, because that does win me a pawn. It's not a very obvious threat. I kind of just noticed it right now. I feel like that's a thing at my level. I think sometimes we play moves and then we realize things afterwards. And we don't actually see them in the first place. So we don't play moves for a specific purpose. We typically stumble our way into ideas and then execute those ideas if the opponent doesn't see them. I feel like that's a thing that happens. Okay, well, so they're going after the h7 pawn. I could go g6. I think it makes more sense to go h6 though. At least to me, I think that makes more sense because after bishop check, king h8, there's nothing there. If g6, there's always sacrifice ideas. So let's just go h6. This also stops the knight's mobility in the future. And now this is a threat that just straight up wins the queen and doesn't have to trade off it wins a knight and doesn't trade off the queens, which is nice. And hopefully it's something we can play. I am a little worried about rook f1. I must admit that does bother me a tiny bit because it messes with my plans. But okay, great. Now I got to think a little bit. Can I go maybe c5? Also, probably have to move this queen off the diagonal here. Okay, let's think. Bishop takes, pawn takes. No, it doesn't work anymore. Bishop here, maybe? Pawn here, pawn takes. Bishop takes, bishop takes, bishop here. It keeps the queen on the same file as the rook, which I don't like. Probably gonna have to move my queen. Let's just go queen e7. We're gonna try to double our rooks here. Little change of plans. Okay, so I think my opponent's going for a similar idea with the doubling of the rooks. Um, let's go rook f7, rook f8. Nothing too crazy here. If I can get another piece attacking this, that would be golden. But unfortunately, right now I can't. My bishop is in no way to attack this knight. But we're forcing a move out of my opponent. I also have c5 as an idea in the future. It doesn't amount to much yet, but it's something. c5 can help bring my knight into the game, which is nice. I could also maybe go knight here. Okay, they're going for something here. So no more c5 as an option. I'm just going to slide the bishop onto c7. Nothing too crazy. We're rerouting the bishop to I, the king. Maybe I have queen d6 ideas now. Queen d6, rook takes, and then this would be almost checkmate if the rook, if pawn takes, for example. Actually, pawn takes is an idea. But I mean, there's ideas here. There's ideas. You know, I'm trying to essentially remove the defender of this square. Okay, well, now we're just going to take. If queen takes, we just go for the trade. This pawn is going to be a weakness that we can go after. If pawn takes, I mean, it's still a weakness we can go after. So regardless, I think that this is slightly better for me. And let's go for it. Okay, so going after the weakness, how do we do that? Probably something like bishop d8, bishop e7. Makes a lot of sense. I gotta watch out for like knight moves here, but if the knight moves, I can just trade rooks. Takes knight takes bishop is interesting, but it doesn't work. I can always slide my bishop afterwards. Um, okay, do I move my bishop now? Do I want to keep one pair of rooks on the board? I think I do. I think I do want to keep one pair of rooks on the board. Oh! Oh no, I messed up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's a big blunder. That's a big blunder. I made a big blunder. Bishop here. Yeah. Okay. You know, we're not out of the game just yet, but that's not good. That is not good at all. All right, let's go after this pawn here. Probably the best move is going rook here for my opponent, I would assume. They can protect this pawn by going king f2, I guess. Yeah, that's a move too. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that was a big mistake, and I spotted it right after playing the move. Time pressure, I guess. Let's go bishop f6. Long-term vision on the pawn on b2. All right. Just keeping our pawns on the board. I guess the rook can go here now. It's a little annoying. Actually, wait, don't I just lose this bishop? I think I just lose this bishop. If he goes rook here, I have to take. Because right now my bishop has no squares free. And yeah, this is not going great. That was a rough mistake by me. I mean, I spotted it right after playing the move. Gotta watch out a little bit more. Okay, let's see. There's a chance here. So rook here was the threat. Maybe we can pair against it. Can I keep both my bishops on the board? I would love to be able to keep both my bishops on the board, but I don't think I can. Like, this bishop has no squares. King here just helps the rook find the right move. Maybe I start by going this way. Because I gotta cover I gotta essentially cover this square here. If I go here, rook here is annoying. If I go this way, though, then my opponent just has rook e7. We'll play this anyways. Yeah. Okay, slide it back. Alright, they find the move. It's a little inconvenient, but it is what it is. And we're going to just go after these pawns here. I mean, we're not going to get anything, but we got to try something. Alright, I'm going to try to hold on to our... Oh, yeah, we're not holding on to our pawns. Okay, I think this one's pretty much resignable at this point. Our best hope is the clock. But that's not really much to work with. Let's go here. Rook takes. I mean, I'm still completely losing. But it is what it is. Yeah. I don't know what I'm playing for here. I'm just making moves to make moves. There's no real chance at yeah, okay. This is done. Let's resign. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we'll take a look at the analysis of this game. Tough loss. Still 1686, still close to 1700, still close to our goal of 1700 by the end of the month. So it has been 21 days now, and we've gone up 86 ELO in 3 weeks. So about 29 ELO per week. Not too shabby, all things considered. Let's take a look at the analysis. Okay, folks, let's take a look at the analysis. So we had another Italian. I gotta find a better way to play against the Italian. I feel like these get a little boring. So if anybody has any recommendations on what to play against the knight f3, bishop c4, definitely let me know. But yeah, we played the Gyoko piano again, which to my credit, I know fairly well. I do think I ended up in a better position out of the opening, right around here. I'm actually minus 0.8. So all these moves, I'm not really covering the moves too much. First of all, because I do want to go into the city. I'm in Japan for not too long. Second of all, because we've already seen this stuff in other games I've played in the past. And so here, it's already minus 0.7. This h6 is not the best move. Apparently, the engine likes g5 better. g5? g5 takes, no? King g7. And then is the plan to go bishop f5 afterwards? So let's say like here, queen h6. Is the bishop trapped? The bishop's not trapped. But then I guess there's sacrifice ideas here. Huh, okay, interesting. g6 was better too. h6 lost quite a bit of the advantage, unfortunately. It is what it is. After rook f1, queen e7, rook f2, I also double up my rooks. And okay, so here's where my opponent starts to go wrong. This move, knight a4 doesn't really accomplish much. The bishop slides to a better square. And here I'm just able to trade. And apparently I should have played bishop d6 here. Bishop d6. Bishop d6 is interesting. After queen takes the pawn on a7, then bishop g3 apparently is the move. Bishop g3. Okay, it looks like it puts the bishop on a nice square. It forces the rook to move out of the way, so it comes with tempo. And apparently, white has to just ignore the fact the rook is hanging here, and not move it. So let's see what happens if you do move the rook. It looks very natural to move the rook. Let's say you move it here. Oh wow, then bishop takes h3 after pawn takes back. Then you have queen takes e3. Oh, that's nice. Okay, gotcha. Cool, cool. That's a cool idea. So apparently, white's supposed to just go queen c5 and try to trade off the queens and remove the threats on the board and just accept the fact that this rook is a goner. Fascinating stuff. Would not have seen that. Okay, we went for the trade instead. Black is still better here. Apparently, I'm not supposed to go bishop d8, though. I'm supposed to try to push g5 and use the fact that his pieces are pretty much completely immobilized to my advantage and make my way on the attack towards the king. Instead, I go bishop d8. I don't remember what the logic was here, to be honest. His knight moves out of the way. We go for the rook trade, and here I mess up. This is silly. I'm just trying to keep my bishop on the board. And I saw this right after I played my move. Bishop h7 afterwards comes with check, which means my king has to move to h8, and then rook can take for free. It's not just that the rook can take for free. It's bishop check here, rook takes, and it comes with tempo attacking my bishop as well. I mean, already the fact that I lose my rook means that this game is lost. I do have the bishop pair, but my bishops are not very strong, especially my light squared bishop, I should specify, because of the way my pawns are structured. So, yeah, tough loss. From here on out, I mean, not really much else to see. I tried to hold on, and there was no real point in me playing this far, to be honest. I should have maybe resigned a little earlier. You never know, sometimes you're able to hold a stalemate, but ultimately, lost the game. It happens. It happens rarely so far in the series, but it does happen. And we are now down to 1686. So we did play against a 1760 something, so I didn't lose too much elo. So hopefully, we're going to get right back on track in tomorrow's video. But today, can't win them all. I'm going to go out now. I'm going to go enjoy Tokyo. Planning to go to Shinjuku today. So that should be fun. I'll try to work on my chest tonight if I get the chance and see if we can rebound tomorrow. Hope y'all are doing great. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And remember, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye.